Decoding the Dance of Destiny, the Mystery of Synchronicity. Welcome back to Beyond the Veil, where we explore the mysteries that lie just beyond our everyday understanding. I'm Radzi, your guide into the unknown, and today's topic is one that's as fascinating as it is elusive. Synchronicity. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just clicks? Maybe you're thinking about an old friend you haven't spoken to in years, and suddenly they call you out of nowhere. Or perhaps you're struggling with a decision when you stumble upon a quote or image that feels like it was tailor-made for your situation. These aren't just random coincidences. They're synchronicities. Moments where life feels like it's speaking directly to you. But what exactly is synchronicity? Is it just our brains playing tricks on us? Or is there something deeper at play? Over the next episode, we're going to dive deep into this concept. We'll define it, explore its history, especially through Carl Jung's groundbreaking work, examine how people interpret it today, and even look at how it might show up in your everyday life. And who knows, by the end of this episode, you might start noticing these coincidences more often yourself, because once you start looking for them, they have a way of showing up everywhere. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button if you're intrigued by esoteric topics like this one. And if you're new here, welcome. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of Beyond the Veil. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's get started. So what exactly is synchronicity? At its core, it's about meaningful coincidences, events that seem connected by something other than cause and effect. Carl Jung defined it as the simultaneous occurrence of two events which are not causally related but are meaningfully connected. In simpler terms, two things happen at roughly the same time or in close proximity, and they feel like they're linked in some significant way. For example, you're thinking about someone you haven't seen in years, and then they text you out of nowhere. You're feeling lost about your career path when you suddenly see a billboard advertising exactly what you've been dreaming of doing. Or maybe you're reading about a rare animal, and then you spot it during your morning walk. These moments feel special. They're not just random. They carry a sense of purpose or guidance. But how do we tell if something is truly a synchronicity or just a regular coincidence? Well, a coincidence is random. It doesn't feel particularly significant. A synchronicity feels meaningful. It resonates with your current thoughts or emotions, like the universe is trying to tell you something. One famous example comes from Jung himself. He was treating a patient who was deeply rational and skeptical about spirituality. During their session, she shared a dream about a golden scarab beetle, a symbol of transformation in ancient Egyptian culture. As she spoke about this dream, guess what? A golden scarab beetle flew into Jung's office through an open window. For Jung and his patient, this was no accident. It was a perfect example of synchronicity. Two unrelated events, the dream and the beetle, coming together in a way that felt deeply significant. So why does this happen? Is it just our brains finding patterns where none exist? Or is there something more mysterious at play? Let's explore where this idea came from. To understand synchronicity, we need to go back to its origins, and that starts with Carl Jung. Jung wasn't just any psychologist. He was one of the founders of modern psychology, alongside Sigmund Freud, though they famously disagreed on many things. Jung was fascinated by the idea that our minds are connected not just to our individual experiences, but also to something larger, a shared human experience he called the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is like a universal database of symbols and archetypes, patterns that appear across cultures in myths, dreams, and art. Jung believed these archetypes influence our behavior and thoughts without us even realizing it. Synchronicity fits into this framework as a way these archetypes manifest in our lives through meaningful coincidences. But where did Jung get this idea? Well, he was influenced by ancient practices like the I Ching, the Chinese Book of Changes, which uses random events, like coin tosses, to reveal deeper truths. He also drew from philosophy. Thinkers like Arthur Schopenhauer talked about an underlying unity in all things. And he collaborated with physicist Wolfgang Pauli, a Nobel laureate, who noticed strange coincidences around him, like lab equipment breaking when he was present, the Pauli effect. Together with Pauli's work on quantum physics, where particles can be entangled across vast distances without causal links, Jung began to see synchronicity as evidence of an causal principle, events connected by meaning rather than cause. But Jung wasn't alone in noticing these patterns. Ancient cultures often saw omens and signs as messages from gods or spirits. Even today, some indigenous traditions interpret natural events as reflections of spiritual truths. So while Jung coined the term synchronicity, the idea itself has roots stretching back through human history. It's only recently that we've started framing it in psychological terms. Now let's talk about how people make sense of synchronicities today, because there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Depending on your worldview, synchronicities can mean very different things. Perspective 1. Spiritual signs. Many people see synchronicities as messages from the universe, or even from a higher power. For example, if you're feeling lost and suddenly see angel numbers, like 1111, it might feel like divine guidance. In witchcraft or divination practices, like tarot or astrology, synchronicities are often seen as omens guiding your path. This view can be incredibly empowering. It suggests you're not alone. Something greater is looking out for you. Perspective 2. Psychological insights. From a psychological standpoint, and Jung's original view, synchronicities might reflect your inner state. For instance, if you're dealing with unresolved issues and keep encountering symbols related to them, like birds for freedom, it could be your unconscious mind trying to communicate. Jung believed these moments often occur during times of personal growth or transformation, when your psyche is more open to receiving insights. Perspective 3. Cognitive bias. Skeptics argue that synchronicities are just our brains finding patterns where none exist. This is called apophenia, the tendency to see connections between unrelated things. For example, if you're thinking about someone and they call you, it might just be chance. But because it feels significant at that moment, your brain latches onto it. However, and here's where it gets interesting, Jung argued that even if our brains are wired for pattern recognition, some coincidences feel too meaningful to dismiss as mere chance. So how do you know if something is truly a synchronicity? It's subjective. If it feels deeply meaningful to you, then it's worth paying attention to. But, and this is important, don't force meaning where there isn't any. Not every coincidence is a sign. Sometimes things just happen randomly. Now let's get practical. How can you start noticing these moments more often? Recognizing synchronicities isn't always easy. It requires a certain mindset. But here are some tips to help you tune into them. Keep a journal. Write down any coincidences or unusual events. Over time, patterns might emerge, like recurring numbers, for example 1111, or symbols, for example feathers. Practice mindfulness. Being present helps you notice when something feels off or significant. Meditation can sharpen your awareness. Try it for 5 minutes a day. Trust your intuition. Sometimes your gut knows before your brain does. If something feels like more than chance, trust that feeling. Look for symbols. Pay attention to recurring themes, like animals, for example, owls for wisdom, or colors, for example, red for passion. These could be personal signs unique to you. Reflect on your life. When something unusual happens, ask yourself, what's going on in my life right now? Does this relate? For example, you're feeling stuck at work when you see a billboard saying, "Take flight." Could this be nudging you toward change? Why bother with all this? Well, synchronicities can feel like cosmic winks, reminding you that you're on the right path. They can inspire creativity or provide clarity during tough decisions. And honestly, they're just fun. Who doesn't love feeling like life is full of hidden messages? But let's not get too carried away. There's also value in skepticism. Not every strange event is a sign from above. Sometimes things just happen randomly. Now let's zoom out. What does synchronicity mean for our understanding of reality? If synchronicities are real, If they're not just coincidences, then they suggest something profound, that there's an underlying order or unity connecting all things. That our inner world, thoughts, feelings, isn't separate from the outer world. It's intertwined with it. Jung believed this pointed to a deeper truth, that reality isn't just physical, it's also psychological and spiritual. He saw synchronicities as bridges between these realms, moments where the material and non-material align. This idea resonates with many spiritual traditions. In Hinduism and Buddhism, karma suggests everything is interconnected. In quantum physics, entanglement shows particles can be linked across vast distances without causal links. Even modern science is starting to explore non-locality, the idea that things can influence each other instantaneously across space-time. So could synchronicities be glimpses into this interconnected web, a way for us to tap into something larger than ourselves? It's tempting to think so, especially when these moments feel so personal and profound. They remind us that life isn't just random. There's meaning woven into its fabric, if we're willing to look for it. As we wrap up this journey into synchronicity, let's pause for a moment of reflection. Have you ever experienced a synchronicity that changed your perspective or guided you? Maybe it was something small, like seeing a rainbow after a tough day, or something life-altering, like meeting someone who became a mentor at just the right time. These moments are powerful because they remind us that life is full of surprises, and sometimes those surprises feel like they're meant just for us. Now, I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question. If synchronicities are real, if they're more than just chance, what does that say about your place in the universe? Are you just a random speck floating through space? Or are you part of something much bigger? Take a moment to think about that. And before we go, don't forget, like this video if you enjoyed our deep dive into synchronicity. Subscribe to Beyond the Veil for more explorations into life's mysteries. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Finally, our closing affirmation. Repeat after me 3 times. I am attuned to the synchronicities in my life, and I trust they guide me toward my true path. Thank you for joining me on this journey into synchronicity. Until next time, keep your eyes open for those magical moments when life seems to wink at you.